Just something we might do to elucidate more about the gift of speech, which is absolutely marvellous and sets us above the animals. And you'll realise that animals can't report if they see a lightning strike on a tree and it burns. Animals can't tell anybody about it. Neither can people unless they have the gift of speech, which is a whole lot of installation way above that animals have, you see. So if you're a lone sort of caveman and you witness lightning striking a tree, there's not many things you can do unless you can speak. You've got the chance of taking a burning branch home with you, and but it's 30 miles home and it won't be lit by the time you get home. But you might be able to, if you can speak, say to the family, look, we're all going to move to where these lightning strike things happen, whatever they mean, whatever they do. We can benefit by keeping the fire going all through winter, and we'll put people, maintain the fire. One person has to remain awake to keep the fire going. That way we can feel a lot warmer through the long winter coming, you see. All of that is possible with speech. With animals, no hope. It's a huge difference, and there's a massive bump up in genes to produce all the aspects of speech that we have, including eyesight, hearing, and additional bones in the tongue, free-floating bones, etc. So, why am I going over this? Well, the answer is to that question, it is noticed that we have a problem with the psychopathic nature that people can do false reports and lie, and thus it locks our civilization into a fairly constant level of psychopathic behaviours, right? Okay, now what I'm saying is it's almost as if we were genetically engineered with a virtual restraining bolt. Yet we seem tantalisingly close to being able to do telepathy, which I suspect would prevent us lying so readily. All the people reported kidnapped by UFOs, that sort of thing, they all talk about telepathic communication with these ETs, and so the ETs are somehow able to enable telepathy in us by some kind of influence that they have. So our ability to informally, telepathically communicate with each other seems a tantalising possibility, and I'm wondering whether it's just a bunch of genes we need activating, another cluster of genes perhaps in our junk DNA, and we have no idea what they do. But something's got to improve our attunement so we can pick up people's thoughts that we are looking at. You've still got to exclude the thoughts of everybody else that you're not paying attention to, otherwise you couldn't function. So the aliens must have some kind of directional capability of looking at people and reading their thoughts somehow. Now, we don't quite have that, but it occurs to us when we've been kidnapped by aliens in parallel with mutilations and that sort of thing that we all read about and know about. What can we do about this? Well, I'm afraid I thought up the question myself, so I can't do it via remote viewing, but I'm going to put a question into Courtney Brown, Farsight Institute, and I don't hold any great optimism here because I think he gets about 20 to 50 suggestions daily on wonderful things worth remote viewing, and there are such a great number of wonderful things to find out with very highly skilled remote viewers. But I'm going to put a question in. What's the difference between us and the aliens? It seems so tantalisingly slim, like we're on the cusp of doing telepathy. If aliens can enable it in us, we have the capacity to do it. I'd like to know, is it just genetics, or is it some kind of attunement, or that we can practice ourselves and improve? It's a wonderful question to put, and we might meditate on this, all of us. Hell, somebody could even try remote viewing it out there off their own bat, make it their first job. But if you know the question, you can't do the remote viewing, right? So you've got to get a competent remote viewer, a practiced remote viewer with a known track record, an established track record, and they can only be given 8 numbers, you see. So if you know the question, you can't do it yourself because you're too heavily front-loaded, and you'll just be trying to join the dots via your imagination, you see. So I'll put the question in, but I'm not holding my breath for an answer. But it would be a wonderful question to get remote viewed. Perhaps some other groups might do it for us. I don't know. So I'll leave you with that thought.